Wsuits Industries. Today, this is a very special day to me because I'm gonna do something I've always wanted to do for a long time. This is the first episode of Wsuits Industries Python series. Today we are gonna set up the stage with VS Code and terminal culture because real devs live in the terminal. Today we're just gonna set up for this Python course. It's gonna be a full course on the essentials of Python. Then after that, we're going to build some hacking tools. And by the end of this video, you should be good in Python and should start developing your own projects and scripts. So to begin, we are going to show, we're going to install VS Code. Then we're going to install Python. Then after that, we should be able to set it up and run it. And also check if it's installed on our system. So what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to our Google Chrome. Navigate to our Google Chrome. Then we're going to go to this website. That is, first of all, we're going to go to python.org. This is the official platform to install Python onto your system. Then the second website is going to be VS Code. We're going to say VS Code download. We're going to search VS Code download. VS Code download for Windows. If you are on Mac, you can just do VS Code download. You'll still get the Mac version if you go to the website. So on this website, you have Python's main website. This is the main website of Python. And you can see the lovely logo right here, right? So on this website, you even have code examples already. So on this website, this is where you're going to install Python onto your system. So you're going to navigate to the download section. Or if you just hover over the download button, you can see this button right here saying Python 3.13.3, where you can just simply click on it. Then I'm sure the installer will go to your downloads to be downloaded. Now with the VS Code, or you can just simply click on this button, then we navigate to the downloads page. So if you go to the download page like this, you can see this is the download page. So if you click on, you can choose a operating system that you are using. So if you are using macOS, you click on the macOS link. Using Linux or Unix systems, use the Linux link. If you're using Windows, then use the Windows link. And I don't know what LP operating system you're gonna be using, but yeah, you have the other section here. So after installing Python, you click on the link. It installs onto your system, as you can see right here. It's installed in 27 megabytes. Then to the VS Code section. To download VS Code, go to visualstudio.com. You click on the first link that you have after searching for the VS Code download. So when you get to the download page of VS Code, this is just the download page. You also have the versions that you could install it for. We have Windows versions, what I'm going to install right now. And we have the Debian versions. We have the Mac OS version. Now the Linux version is the one right here in the middle where you have .deb and .rpm. And the Windows versions is this current one. Now getting started with VS Code, this is just a page after clicking on the downloads page. Now I want us to discuss some of the rich features of VS Code and why I chose VS Code. Now, number one is lightweight, fast, and highly customizable. VS Code is very, very fast. If you have worked with different integrative development environments, you know what I mean. Something like VS Code is very light and fast. For instance, I can just simply code in any language. Write code in your favorite programming language, and there's also version control, whereby you can connect the VS Code to your GitHub account. Your GitHub is just like a cloud service where you store your files and stuff, and also has a free debugging code editor inside it. So if you write your code, it can check for errors in the code automatically, and you can watch introduction videos to learn more. And actually, VS Code is really simple. You can use a container, remote machine, or WSL as a development environment. And you can even run automated tasks and view test coverage to validate your code. So VS Code is really, really good. Now, one of the things that people use VS Code mostly often is Python, C++, and GitHub Copilot. Now, GitHub Copilot is an AI model built into VS Code where you can use it to do your stuffs. And I really love VS Code, and I don't know who doesn't love VS Code, honestly. So, after installing VS Code, downloading the executable, we are going to run it and install it onto our systems, same as the Python file right here. Before we install anything onto our system, I would like us to understand the terminal. So now I'm going to, as a developer, you must know the terminal very well. In every system or every operating system, there is a terminal in it. A terminal is simply the interface in which you use to interact with the main system, right? In Linux, you call that the kernel. In Windows 2, it's called the new technology kernel. That's the NT kernel. Now, to get a deeper insight, I need to go straight to the practicals. Since I'm using Windows 11, we are going to use the PowerShell. Now, we could have used command prompt, but command prompt is a little bit outdated, even though it can still do some of the things that PowerShell does. But PowerShell can be used, and you can even use some of the Linux command on PowerShell. Now, to open PowerShell, you can use the Windows command, that is Windows +R, then you type PowerShell in the dialog box, right? Or you can simply use the search button, the start menu. You can click on the start menu, then type PowerShell right here. Now, when I type Windows PowerShell right here, it opens this PowerShell window. Hope it doesn't look kind of weird to you guys because I did it transparent. But yours, I think it's gonna have a blue background or a black background. So let me remove this transparency so you guys can see my code clearly. So I just changed my brightness, and let me see if that changes so that you guys can see my code. Now good. So now this is the PowerShell. I've told you, once you open it, navigate to the start menu and just type PowerShell. This application right here, you click on it. So this is the PowerShell. The PowerShell is very simple. It's the command line, right? This is the user account on your system. This is the folder the user account is located in. And this is the drive in which the user account is in. And this PS represents that you are using the PowerShell. Now, it runs in Bash shell, but in a Windows version of Bash shell. So, for instance, our first command will be echo. That is like you wanna show a message, hello world. When I type this, you see there's an error right here, and the error comes from what? The syntax I wrote here, the P. Now you should always get used to error messages like this. The term ECHP is not recognized as the name of a CMDLet function or script file, indirectly telling you that this is not a command. So you have to just simply press arrow up, and to give you the command that you pressed, then you're gonna type add, correct it, and type hello. Now you can see that the code has run and has said what? Hello world. Now that's just the basics of PowerShell. Now we're gonna use ls. When I type ls, it's going to show me all the files in which the folder I'm in. So it's just going to list all the files in the folder I am currently in. And we all know I'm in the Wsuits folder. So now, when I list all the files and folders, we can see that desktop is part of it, indirectly telling us that the desktop is treated as what? A folder in the command line. So now let's change the directory to the desktop. So cd desktop. We're going to type cd desktop, right? So when I type cd desktop and I put a location of the desktop, please note that the name of the desktop is different. You see that it has a / desktop, right? So this location simply means that the dot represents the current location you are inside. That's the current folder. Then the name here represents the folder you are now going into. And the cd means change directory. Now in the command line, cd means change directory. So indirectly telling us that a directory is the same as what? A folder. Good. So now we are in the desktop directory. Now we want to know the files inside the desktop directory. What do? ls. Now when we type ls, you can see it has listed all the files on my desktop and even the shortcut file I have, right? OpenVPN is there, Pi Network, my soundtrack, else theme, I like anime, the code. Now you can see I have a folder called code, and you can see the folder is listed here. the second folder. So it's going to list folders first, then shortcuts second, right? Then the last thing is going to be like text files and other stuff. So I want to compare something right now. When you guys study inside the, if I type ls right now, you can see these are all the files on my system. Now these are the files on my system are somewhat the same as the ones in the terminal. It's the same thing. So that is how the terminal works. So now we want to start coding, right? And we want to create a folder in which we put our code files inside. So now what you're going to do is that you navigate to the desktop, in which we are already in the desktop, right? So now whilst we are in the desktop already, what we have to do is we have to create a folder in the desktop, then create a Python file inside the desktop, right? So what do? We are in the desktop directory. We type what? mkdir. Mkdir means make a directory. Make a directory simply means make a folder, right? Then you put the name of the folder. We're gonna say Python introduction course, or say Python intro, or we're gonna say Python full course, right? I'm really bad at doing this stuff, honestly. Python full course, and click enter on that. Then you can see you are given this prompt. Now this prompt is telling you that you have created a folder in your directory. Now when we type ls, we can now see that Python full course is right here. So if you check on the desktop, we have Python full course folder right here. Now we are not in the Python full course folder we just created right now. So how do we navigate to it? We type cd Python full course, then we click tab on that. Now cd, put the name of the folder you just created. Always remember // or you can simply just type the name of the folder in short and press tab. Let me repeat that for you to get it. py tab. So for instance, if I want to go to signal, type signal, or I just put the first two letters or first three, then you click tab on that and to auto-complete it for you. Then you click enter. Now you can see that the prompt has changed. That means we are now inside this folder we just created right now. So how do we know the files inside the folder we just created right now? We type ls. You see, there's nothing. There is no prompt. There is no output. Indirectly telling us that there is nothing in our Python folder we just created right now. So now I'm going to create a scenario, right? I'm going to take a folder, a Python file I have in my other folder right here. This is a different folder altogether, and this is the Python folder we just created. Now I'm going to copy one of these codes. I wrote a TCP port scanner, so I'm going to drop that file here. I've dropped it here, or should I just copy it? Because I'm gonna need that stuff. If I do this, I'm gonna get trouble. Funny. Paste it. So you see that I have copied the file into the Python full course. Now let's check again whether we can find any file inside the Python full course folder. I'll type ls. Now you can see we have our file here. Now take a very close note right here. Look very closely. You can see that the time, the date, the mode, and the extension of the file. .py represents our almighty Python. So an extension is simply something that you use to represent a file. What file type is it? Is it a web page? Is it a text file? Is it a video? Is it an image, right? So it's a code file. It's a Python file. So its end is what? .py, then a name. Now we have the basics of the terminal, and I cleared my screen. So I think now what we're supposed to do is now install VS Code and Python onto our systems. Then we check whether Python is installed through the PowerShell terminal. So our executables have been downloaded already. VS Code and Python has been downloaded. So what we're gonna do now, we are going to go to our desktop, and then we're going to navigate to our downloads. So we're going to open the PowerShell to do that, or you could also do that with your file explorer. So open the file explorer and just navigate to downloads. Now in the download section you have you can see the two executables. So let's start with the Python download. double click on it. So I have the old version of Python installed. So if this happens, you just click on upgrade now. Then it will be installing the Python executable onto your system. We can wait for this. But if it's not, you just click next, and then everything will install automatically. So our setup was successful. Now to check if Python was really installed on our system, we open the PowerShell as I showed you earlier on. Then we are going to type a very simple command, Python. Yes, so when I type this, you can see that Python is really installed on our system. You can see this prompt right here. And to exit from this, you type exit, then you are out of it already. So this is the Python's terminal kind of stuff. Now to check if VS Code was installed, but let's install VS Code. So we navigate to our File Explorer, Downloads, then we double click on VS Code to see if it's installed. Yes, sometimes people get this message if they check your internet connection, Microsoft Defender. You can just click on Run. If the internet connection is poor, you can just click on Run. Then you click on I accept the agreement. You click on Next, create a desktop app, Next, install. Now it's gonna prepare to install the VS Code onto your system. So this is how it's gonna go, extracting the files and stuffs. Now whilst our VS Code is installing, I would like us to get to the terminal and understand something right here. When I type Python and I do this -- version, it gives me the version of Python, right? This tells us that Python is really installed and we have the latest version of Python 3.13.3. Now when I type Python and leave I don't add any argument, just put the raw Python there, I have this here. Here I can run simple Python code. For instance, I can say print hello world. Now you can see it runs like the way we did the echo command. Things like ls will not work here because they are not Python codes. You have to write a Python code to navigate to a directory. So I always advise people learning these stuff, but we'll automate everything through a script whereby we'll run it in this terminal and to run a Wsuits in real time. So let's go and check if our VS Code has been installed. Our VS Code is installed and we can now start coding in Python. So there are some things you need to install on your VS Code. For instance, number one is you will need some extensions. So you go to the extensions tab, then we're going to type Python. Type in Python. Now back to the terminal. Exit, clear the screen. So now remember we created a folder on the desktop, right? So we want to navigate to that folder. What do we do? CD. Currently we are not in the desktop, right? So we navigate to what? The desktop /desktop, right? We autocomplete and we are in the desktop as you can see right here. So we ls and we know that our file name was Python file, right? So CD Python, then tab Python full course. We have navigated to the Python full course folder. CD to that folder. Now when we check our file, we can see that we are now inside the Python full course folder, the folder on the desktop. So when we type ls on this, we don't have anything. So now what do you want to do? You want to open VS Code inside this folder. You type code, right? Then click dot, showing that you want to open VS Code in this folder, the current folder we are in. You click enter on that and it opens VS Code. And you can see our VS Code has opened and our file is right there. This is our code file. So now we want to create a new code file. So I'm going to delete this one. Yeah. So to create a new file, we're going to click on this button right here. And I'm going to increase that. This button right here. Then they will give you a dialog box. When you click on it, it will give you a dialog box. So we say intro to Python. You can put any name actually, as long as end with .py. So we are having our file here. This way we can run Python code. We can execute Python commands. So when we type something like print, the print is a Python statement. We want to print something out to see what that thing will be. So we can print out a simple message like hello world, and see one of the features of VS Code. Whilst you are typing, they are giving you suggestions and insight on what exactly you are doing. It helps. So print hello world, and you can see this is our first line of Python. but I'm not gonna use hello world, guys. I'm gonna say welcome to Wsuits Industries. We are all great hackers. So now when I've write this line of code, right? I've write this line of code. As you can see, this is a line of code. This is what code looks like. This is a code, right? Now how do I run this thing? How do I actually print out this thing in the between right now? How do I print it out? I'll click on this button right here. Then it runs it in the terminal, and you can see hello. So if you don't want to do this through VS Code, you can do this through the terminal. Whilst you are inside the folder in which your Python file is, you're gonna type Python, ls, then you type Python. Now when you type Python, give a space and input the file name, the code file, right? So that was what? Intro to Python, right? And we click enter. And you can see it has run our code right here. It says, welcome to Wsuits Industries. We are all great hackers. So this is how Python works. So the next video, we are going to learn about, we're going to learn data structures. We're going to learn data types, variables, and inputs. And we'll be using some examples like saving and target's IP address. And I'll explain what an IP address there is. We will save an IP address into a variable, and then we're going to use it to do fun stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe so I can do better content for you guys. Wsuits Industries.